Hey guys, I'm out here today on the Butler Chain of Lakes. The running water or current down on the Kissimmee chain's about done. I'm fishing with Les, one of my regular customers. This is like the fourth or fifth time.
Yeah,
about the fourth or fifth time over the years I've fished with him. We're on the Butler Chain of Lakes today. Feels like it's the first day of fall. I got a little jacket on because it's about 72 degrees, which is cold for somebody from Florida. But we're out here. A little windy today, overcast, there's some rain in the area. I think there's a front coming through, but usually that's good. So we're out here. I got a couple shiners. We're doing mostly artificial lures, but I have some wild shiners left over from a previous trip. So while we're sitting here in this little cut, first thing here this morning, I'm gonna put those out, see if we can put some fish in the boat. We're gonna fish some jerk baits today, probably some wacky rig Cinco type baits from DOA. Maybe even catch some on a spinnerbait. Hopefully we'll get some big fish. I was out here a couple days ago and it worked out pretty well. So something a little bit different than fishing the current like I've been doing for the past 3 weeks. I always like change. So we're gonna try and put 20, 30 fish in the boat today. So stay tuned. Got one on the Cinco. Actually, it's not a Cinco, it's a DOA 5-inch CAL. If you don't know what CAL stands for, you just gotta look it up. Can't say it on camera. Little guy.
Yeah.
Boy, they're sucking these down.
It jammed this one pretty hard.
Little guy. It's actually our second fish. He caught one on his first cast, which is sometimes a curse. But he broke the curse by catching the second one. There it is. Ooh, that one got hooked.
Yeah. Hit myself in the head with it. Feels better.
Well, that's just all fish pulling, isn't it?
Yeah.
If we get one big fish on these shiners, I'll be ecstatic.
Oh, I'll be ecstatic myself. This one feels good.
He's still on the hook.
He's still on the hook and he's still fighting.
You're not going to see this on the video because I'm going to edit it all out, but we haven't put a bass in the boat yet on a shiner because we're getting gar bites. They're jumping off and they're going down the grass. And we didn't.
Grass right here.
Yeah, we didn't come out to shiner fish. We just had. Oh, that is a nice one.
Oh yeah, definitely want to picture it out.
Moral victory! Yay! And look where he's hooked.
Right at the edge.
Jeez. Oh, he's got a line in his throat because somebody's broken him off.
Yeah.
With a shiner hook in his throat, but I can get it out.
That sounds good to me. The more you save, the better.
Look at that.
About 3 pounds?
Yeah, 3.5, because he's long. Somebody broke him off.
Yeah.
Not us. So that fish was meant to be caught.
And that's a shutter. You're going to do halfway and focus.
Got it.
Okay.
He's in that 3 1/4 pound range.
Yeah.
Man.
It'll work for that one, right?
Jeez. Tell me about it.
I almost knocked myself out on hitting it.
Well, I think you said it and he was going the opposite direction.
Probably, because it went like slack and then it whacked me in the top of the head.
That was crazy. We've had like 7 or 8 bites on shiners and we're missing them because they're eating them by the tail. They're going down in this eel grass that's grown in here this year and we're losing them. We're getting gar bites and then we finally catch one, but whatever. He hit it so hard he backlashed the reel.
I think I got him. It's been funny with these fish.
I know.
I feel it's pulsing.
Stay on the hook.
Get out of the grass.
They're digging in that grass, aren't they?
Oh yeah. They know where to go. So I've been trying to keep it high. Usually you don't want to do that with bass.
No.
Oh.
He just pulled drag out?
Yep.
He's not even as big as that other one, I don't think.
I don't know.
A decent one.
Wild fish.
One of those Butler Chain steroid fish.
Yeah.
Again, though, I mean, that's where you want to hook him, is in the corner of the mouth, but it's not a bad one.
Gave him.
Yeah. That's a little chunkier fish than that first one.
Yeah, it's wider.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll take another picture with
Sure. Number 2 on the shiners. Just a 2-pounder, 2 1/4. They're biting kind of weird today.
Yeah. That one lake I was telling you about, the little private lake.
Yeah.
They average about 2 pounds. Another thing too, I noticed Florida bass, their teeth are sharper.
Yeah. Everybody says that. They are sharper.
Yeah.
My thumb knows it.
Yours, I'm sure.
Yeah, look, it just stays like that all the
Yeah.
time. Bass thumb.
Mm-hmm.
There went your shiner.
Yep.
All right, so we started here, had some shiners left over. We caught 2 decent fish on a shiner, nothing big, but we missed a ton of fish on it for whatever reason. And 3 little tiny fish, but you might not even see those in the video, on a wacky rig, DOA CAL 5-inch, like a Cinco type bait. We're gonna move out on the bigger lakes and see if we can get some active fish schooling, see if we can get some bigger fish going. Again, it's like it's the middle of October here, but it feels like the first day of fall. Could very well be 95 degrees today here in Florida, but it's not, and I'm enjoying it. All right, so we are out here in the wind and the elements on Big Lake Butler. It's not blowing that bad. It's a 10, 12 mile an hour wind. Real overcast. Caught a few fish at the first spot. We're working our way up to a top secret grass hump. I blindfolded them when I brought them out here. Not really, but we're working our way up to a grass hump that's on the edge of a hole here. I've filmed this catching fish off this grass hump many times. Catch a lot of big fish off of it. What's been happening lately is when I get up to it, I think I'm spooking bait fish, big schools of shad and stuff that are sitting in the grass. And I'm actually putting my boat right on top of the hump, which normally, you know, would not be something you would do in bass fishing. You want to stay off of it and cast to it. But these fish lately have been around it, and you get your boat on top of it and spook the bait fish, and they're coming up schooling all around the boat. And usually I have a lot of customers that bring their own lures. He actually brought a lure that I think is going to work. It's a little, is it a Rapala?
Rapala.
Little Rapala jerkbait that doesn't run very deep. What's it called?
Ripstop.
A ripstop. And I think it's going to be perfect for these fish if we can get them to come up blowing up around the boat. Because I'm not really catching them on top water, but you can catch them on baits that are, you know, right below the surface. So we might be in the spot a little bit early, but since we were coming out here, I stopped on it. I can almost guarantee if the weather cooperates, we'll be able to catch them on it later, but I'm going to hit it. If they're not feeding here right now, we'll move on and fish another spot. Yeah, so right here's where I've been sitting, and the hump's like right in here.
Right.
But those fish were like way off the hump there.
Yeah, wind might have pushed them.
Yeah. I don't care where they're at, as long as I can find them.
Yeah.
Going?
Felt like it. Yeah.
Caught one on his own lure.
On a pause.
It's not a big one, but if you knew how many customers of mine bring their own lures and they'd never even get a bite on them. But he showed me that lure and I knew to catch one on it. Not a big one, but
Strong one. Got shoulders. Hurt itself.
oh, it's because we got him foul hook.
He came after it and missed it.
Foul hooking a fish will turn a 1-pounder into a 6-pounder in
Oh, yeah.
2 seconds.
Well, we know you went after it anyway.
Yeah. So this is a little bait that he's. So I haven't used this bait. It's a little ripstop, little jerk bait, which really closely resembles all the shad that they're feeding on out here.
It's actually called a Morseback Shiner.
Okay. That looks like they're not really. It's not. I keep saying shad. They're actually schooling on these big. You know, I don't know how many species of minnows there are, but they're schooling on minnows out here.
Yeah, there's thousands. guy just hit hard.
I might have to get my spy bait out.
That might work. Same size.
Yeah. You're gonna get a good fight out of all of them because they're coming up and slapping it.
Oh yeah. Oh, yeah. Watch the trebles, they're nasty.
You just gotta
the small fish
make
are
up
worse
your
than
mind
the big fish, yeah.
and go in. Yeah, the small ones are they're the ones.
They'll get you.
I don't know if I've ever been hooked with a big fish. It's always been little tiny ones.
You got more room to play with on the big fish.
They'll get bigger.
Yep. They really smack it, you know? It's like they want to kill it.
I'm not going to hold us right on the hump if they're going to be all over the place. I'll just kind of fish our way around in this area.
Okay.
There's one on a rattle trap, first cast.
There you go.
The rattle trap here, you got to fish it like a shaky head. You're fishing too fast. If you just throw it out and reel it in, you won't catch anything. But if you sit out there and basically just kind of shake it in.
Yep.
Another small one. Small fish are fun.
They're tough.
Thing is, on this Butler Chain of Lakes, the fish are never told that they're small.
No.
They kind of all have Napoleon syndrome.
Yep.
They think they're a lot bigger than what they are. See, this is how I fish the rattle trap here.
Okay, yeah.
Just not even, if you just reel it in or do a stop and go, they just like this little shaking, and they hit it.
Shake,
They hit it when it's falling.
Yep. Just got bumped. It stopped and it bumped it, but it missed it.
Yeah. There you go.
That one hit as soon as it landed. Must have hit him on the head.
There's a school of them sitting out. That's about where I call the one on the trap.
Yep.
Or the red-eye shad. It's not a rattle trap.
Yeah.
It's like calling a soda a Coke. I know there's some bigger ones out here because I've seen them blowing up.
Yeah.
They're not all 12 inches long. It's kind of easier when you don't hook them in the mouth, because then I can grab them by the mouth.
Yeah.
There we go.
The hooks are sticky, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, they're sticky. Fish these hooks out?
No.
Because they're...
That lure's brand new, actually. Still in the package.
So we're gonna go try a new spot.
Okay.
He's catching them. He's caught like a dozen here in 45 minutes, and they're all around this size here, little tiny bass, which you can catch these anywhere you go in the country, and that's not why people come here to fish, to catch 11 and 12 inch bass. So these fish will be here all day long. There are some big fish here, but they're just letting the kids eat first this morning. So we're gonna go hit a couple other spots, because we can come back here and catch these at any time. We've got almost 20 fish in the boat already this morning. A lot of them, you're not gonna see them in the video because they look like this. But we're gonna go see if we can get on some bigger fish, and then maybe come back here later this afternoon or later this morning and see if some bigger fish are biting, because this is not what we're after. And so now we're over in Lake Down.
Okay.
Same take. I'm throwing a spinnerbait. We're out here on a big flat. A little bit of sun peeking through now. Trying to find some bigger fish. We've caught 2 weeks worth of small ones. The only good fish we've had today so far were on the shiners I had left over. He's throwing his jerk bait, I'm rolling a spinnerbait over, but there's a bunch of big peppergrass beds out here, which hold fish in the warmer months, but they'll hold them still here in the fall, the early fall. Water's still 83 degrees here, so it's not, for a lot of parts of the country that's really warm, but we consider that cold water. It's kind of odd. Usually if there's any chop on this lake though, oh look, God, look.
Oh yeah.
Usually if there, oh man. Oh, those are good fish, dude.
Yeah.
Those are not little babies.
No, they're blasting through there.
There's some good fish in it. Good God. Hope the cameras see that. That is crazy. I'm gonna guarantee you're gonna at least get a bite. throw the spinnerbait. See if I get that. Get one? See if we can get a double. Oh, you got the smallest one of the whole thing. There's some small ones in there, but did you see some of those had some weight to them? Get that. Ugh.
They're still bouncing out.
Stop it. This one's like a decoy to keep us from catching the bigger ones.
Yeah. They're still bouncing.
I can't. Oh, I just landed on one. Do you see that?
Yeah.
Oh, oh. Come on.
Still out there. Oh, that's a bigger one. Some right here too.
A lot of people don't use their tracks on their GPSs like they should. Like we're out here on this big flat drifting around, and people will go, oh, there's some schooling fish right there, and then they kind of go down and you look and you're in the same area. But if you look at your tracks here, I have this one zoomed way in. We were out here and we did this big loop and started drifting down this way, and right here's where I saw the fish schooling. You don't need to mark a waypoint there. And we started jetting around this way, and then so the schooling fish were right here. So they're actually back on this side. But I don't think people no one talks about using their tracks.
My buddy uses it all the time in salt water.
Yeah, I use my tracks all the time, especially.
The breadcrumbs, you know, it's like leave a path behind where you're going or where you were and where you hit the fish.
Sometimes you're on a spot where you're not gonna maybe mark a waypoint there, because it might be that might be the day that you're gonna catch them in that spot.
Yeah.
Oh, now they're straight behind us. God, there's so many of them. They're coming up like 20, 30 at a time. And they're actually close to the boat. He's got one. I'm gonna catch one on this spinnerbait, or we're not leaving today. Just like that.
You got him?
Yeah.
Good.
Come off. Now he's on there. No, he came off. I'm being a good fishing guy, and I'm just letting him catch all of them.
You take him into the grass, that's the problem, too. How are you?
Oh my goodness.
Another monster.
Giant Florida bass. First cold front of the year bearing down on us. And we're catching some monsters. They're still schooling. It's funny though, we see 3 fish blow up here and we catch 2 right away. We see 300 over there and we catch 3.
Oh, it's a little bigger than the last one I had.
Yeah.
That belly on him, he's really feeding on his bait, whatever the hell they are. Look at his stomach on him.
So if you're in Florida or watching this video and wanting to come to Florida and you're in search of giant Florida bass, look for Chuck's Guide Service, and I can hold them real close to the camera. We're in between. I have a waypoint right here and a waypoint right here, and we're right in between them. I've had these waypoints for 4 years now. Yeah. Look at this. That one, I was pulling my, that's a better one.
Yeah.
I was pulling my spinnerbait out of the water and he grabbed it. Look, a decent one, sorta.
Yeah, not bad. I had one come up here and flash.
So, I don't know what that's gonna look like, but it felt like my spinnerbait was almost out of the water and he grabbed it out of my hand.
blowing up right by the boat.
Yeah. He's skinny, but he looks like a giant right now.
Yeah. It's a better fish in this grouping anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little bait about the size of this came up.
Yeah.
And about a 2-pounder came up and slammed it.
Here they're eating shad. I think those other places are minnows because that one fish spit out shad, but the shad are only about an inch long.
Yeah, they're short.
If you get shad in the area, a lot of times that'll bring in a little bit bigger average fish. Although our sample size isn't that much better right now. There's one. That's a little bit bigger. They're eating the spinnerbait. No, he's not bigger. That one was way down.
Yeah, see, I can't get down. That's about the same size.
Yeah. I'm not sold on the spinnerbait yet, but if I get another decent one, I'm going to put you a spinnerbait on if you want. So we're wrapping it up for today. We caught a lot of fish today. He caught nearly 30 himself. A lot of them on his little jerkbait. The one thing that didn't cooperate today are the bigger fish. We had one and probably a little over 3 pounds on a shiner, another decent one on a shiner, and then pretty much everything we caught today on artificial was small. I did catch a couple respectable fish on a spinnerbait there, and as soon as I gave him the spinnerbait, they decided they weren't going to eat a spinnerbait anymore. And then they started biting a lipless crankbait, a red-eye shad. But we did, we caught a lot of fish today. Kind of skeptical weather, but the flow and water on the Kissimmee chain's pretty much done, so I'm back here at Butler fishing, and we had fun today. He got to catch most of his fish on a lure he brought, which was kind of cool. But I am going to be back out here tomorrow, just like every day, and I hope you keep watching and subscribe to my channel.